Hey, Ben, huh?
Hello.
Hey, Han. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thanks. Having a bit of a wild Monday, but
All right.
it's good.
Ben, how can you hear us? Hmm.
He shows he's unmuted though.
Yes. Hey, Jason.
Hello.
Hello.
We can't hear Ben, huh? For some reason. Oh, he's gone. Wait for him to come back.
Hey everyone.
Hey, Ben.
Hello.
Hello. How is it going?
Doing great, and you?
All good. I had some days off the past week and was great in the Spanish coast. So yeah, can't complain.
I want to come visit, Ben.
You are invited, so please come. I'll take care of everything, mostly everything. So most drinks and food. Yes, let's say.
Well, we have Benjamin, saying all these in recording, so surely
Well,
we'll
it's recorded.
make use of
So yeah.
it.
And what about you guys? Something fun the past weekend?
No, I busted my knee.
Hmm.
So more injuries.
It's no good. Be climbing.
Yeah.
And is that serious or some? I mean, is like long-term injury or like just some weeks rest?
Well, I'm seeing the doctor tomorrow and we'll see how bad it is. I'm hoping it's just, you know, a few weeks of healing and physical therapy. But worst case could be surgery.
Yikes.
The cross ligament or something like this, or no?
Yeah.
Let's see. Good luck with the appointment. If you are not feeling like instability when you are walking, maybe it's just like a ligament overstretch or something like that with some luck. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope so. Hi, Greg.
Very great.
Hi.
Good morning.
Mostly.
Okay, shall we get started then? Cool. I'm going to give 30 seconds to Greg. Let's get started. I'm going to share my screen as always to show the accessibility and message and the meeting etiquette. As always, I like to say that we are going to record this meeting to share it with the community and also to upload it to our YouTube channel. If someone in this meeting is against sharing this in YouTube, just reach out to me privately and I'll take care of no uploading this one. If not, it will be online tomorrow. We encourage everyone to challenge any change, any language or behavior that is harmful, not inclusive, or against our code of conduct. We'll try to stay on mute when other person is speaking and use some reactions to ask for a turn to speak. And with any further ado, this is today's agenda. It's a well-packed agenda. I added 3 topics. First one, I like to discuss about disabling the current ads we have for the new website just for mobile, because we found that is suboptimal in some cases. I like to check with all of you your thoughts about that. Second, I like to provide an update about the current status of the new website development, because I saw the recording of the last meeting and people in the session was curious about what is the current status and the issues wasn't clear enough. So I'll try to show what is the current status and my proposal to work in a release after the holidays in September. Next, we have been discussing in the issue 415 the development process or the scope for the new stable release. We discussed about an approach of having 1 week cycles, and we suggested using these meetings to groom or decide the backlog and try to, if we can manage like that. So I'd like to use some time of this session to discuss together the initial backlog for the first iteration. And finally, another topic added by Ben for a quick update for anyone, a quick update about the roadmap, if I'm not mistaken. So I think that this is going to be a long session, probably. So with any further ado, if there are no more comments, let's start reviewing the action items of the last session. Is that okay? let's go then. The past session, I created the notes of the meeting. If I'm not mistaken, there was no clear action items captured. There was great discussions about issue 404 and other topics, but there was no action item, so nothing to track them. Any comment regarding the discussion points of the last week session? Great. Let's start then. First point of the agenda. I like to check with you all. What are your thoughts regarding disabling the current ads we have in the website just for the mobile version? I'm linking this other issue because it's when it was decided to start using those ads in 5 years ago. No, sorry, is this one. This was the discussion in 2020, and it was merged 3 years ago. And since then, we have been using those ads, and we have been receiving funds in our what is the name of the let me check. I don't remember what is the name of the thing we use for the funds stuff.
Open Collective.
Yeah, Open Collective. Sorry, too much sun this weekend in my head. Yes, we have been receiving funds for those ads, but when testing the new website, let me show you. Is this one? We are still testing some stuff. For mobile, we found that some weird behavior. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
So this is being shown for test. I mean, I just received the comments by the person that is developing this. So probably this is already done, but basically they told me that with the ads, this menu behavior wasn't optimal. So I suggested for development purposes, disabling that. And I like to check with all of you if we are okay with disabling ads here, because we don't have much space in mobile devices to see ads with this current design.
So by the way, what I can see on that, at least on the website that I have about JSON Schema docs, is that people visiting these websites on mobile seem to be incredibly low, at least for me. So I wonder what are the analytics that you're tracking, because if almost nobody is visiting JSONschema.org on mobile, then say no brainer.
You are referring to the current website, right? Not this one.
Yeah, exactly. Just to get a sense of mobile, traffic on the JSON Schema project altogether, because at least on the JSON Schema docs website I have, it's as I'm checking over here, it is like less than 1% for me.
Yeah, that's what I would expect. I wouldn't expect a whole lot of people checking what is JSON Schema from their mobile device. They would expect people to be at their computers, and
yeah, exactly.
Then they've, they're in the midst of developing, and they want to go look at something on JSON Schema, so they're going to be on their computer most of the time.
Yeah, because I imagine that the main concern against something like this would be if there are some funds we've been getting into Open Collective because of showing the ads. Do we risk, decreasing the significantly amount of value that we're getting, like money out of the ads? But it seems like no, probably no.
Yeah, I can't imagine it's much. when it comes to that, to be honest. Just having a look at the stats, see if I can find them now.
As a fun fact, by the way, I just realized that there were ads on the JSON Schema website, like literally now. I've been running with ad blockers like forever, so I've never actually seen them.
Me too. I had no idea we had ads.
In the
Same.
current in desktop, it's like a very teeny thin in the upper right area. So most of the time you are not aware about that. And in the desktop version of the new website, same thing is, I mean, it's there, but you are not going to realize most of the time about that. However, in mobile, as soon as you try to see the menu with all the options, the ad is appearing right on top of the menu. And if the traffic is as low as Juan said, we will be happy to just disable that for mobile, because the impact in our funds is going to be really small.
It might be worth also reaching out to these people, carbon ads, and saying, you know, is it expected that the behavior is less than great on mobile? Because they probably would be interested in fixing that anyway.
I saw the docs and they said that you can disable this for mobile, basically. They said that the expected size is whatever pixels length and height. And if you find that this is impacting your design, you can just disable it for mobile. It's not literal, but something like this.
Yeah, like the number of people on mobile is just tiny. I wouldn't be worried about that at all.
Great. I mean, I'm going to let the issue open for a few weeks, but if we don't have more comments or feedback, I will take today's discussion like a positive feedback about this, and let's see how it goes. Maybe with the new design, we get an increase in the navigation, or maybe we had some friction in mobile before and nobody said anything about that, but the people was having friction there. So let's see. Any comment regarding this ad discussion? Okay, let's go with the next topic, the status of the new website. First of all, I wanted to share my apologies if the issue wasn't like clear with the current status. The reality is that 99% of the development has been done by Ronnie Lockwood, that is a Postman employee, helping us. It's not like different contributors of the community. And even though I should ask them to have those discussions in the JSON community Slack channel, I just try to make their life easier, like just putting everything I could in the issues and having different one-to-one sessions with them. Okay, so we had like 6 or 7 different one-to-ones when I was sharing all the issues that I found, and there is no track about all those feedback loops. So that's the first thing. Second thing, all the changes that Ronnie has been doing are in a simple pull request that has been growing for the last 3 months. That is this one in the branch 44. So as soon as everything is ready, we are just finding small bugs and issues, but the development is mostly complete. And if we check what is here, everything is available through Cloudflare in this link. I'm seeing that we still need. I provided some feedback, and it's not done yet. So we need to put here the real number of implementations. Some small things, but basically everything is complete. Here in the docs page, same. This is 99% complete, but we still need to make these menus appear deployed when you are seeing the current page. For example, this is the current page. The expected behavior is this appearing like this when you are accessing. So we need to fix small things like that. The blog is already complete. Those buttons are expected to be filtering buttons. So as soon as someone clicking case studies, this should be applying a filter here. So this is not done yet. And implementations, we need to put some lines to provide a small differentiation between each implementation, because we receive feedback that is difficult to differentiate one from each other. So we are going to make this appear slightly better, but honestly, this page has a lot of range of improvement, but wasn't part of the scope of the landing page.
On that implementations page, can we put some margin on the sides too? It's really wide. That might help readability a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. For example, this is probably the only page when we are not we didn't integrate it in this menu, but probably we should, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I will implement that change. But as you guys, sorry, more comments?
Yeah, something about the implementations. I know when that site was originally, or that page was originally copied and built from the current site, that was before Henry had gone through and done like some massive research on all of these implementations and provided additional information and flags or whatever. So my point is that there's some information in the current site that I think is probably missing here.
Yeah. Regarding the information that we have in the current version, past in May, I put all the changes that everything that was in the live version of our site. I added them here. However, all the changes that happened in the last couple months are not here. So before launching this, I'll need to go back and see what changes we have here. But and the same thing for the blog. In the blog, we have mostly everything, but if the last case study, for example, is not here. So probably we are missing the articles for the last couple of months. So in the plan of the release plan of the website, there should be a period of someone that is going to be mostly me, checking that all the information is totally in sync between the both sides. And probably it should be, I would recommend to make like a freeze in the website for 1 week to avoid like last minute change, communicating properly to everyone that what is our plan, why we are not going to merge anything in that period, and probably we can merge afterwards and make small changes. But yeah, I'll provide a proposal for managing that. What I was going to share here that I just started to speak and I didn't follow the navigation. What is not published is the last 2 case studies that weren't published in May. But this is really easy to. It's not like copy pasting, but it's super easy. So yeah, I have this documented, not super well documented, but the process is clear. So this is, as I said, small changes. We have like 5 or 6 issues to to fix, and everything will be ready during August. In addition to this, sorry, go ahead.
Yes,
Jason.
I don't know if it's on your list, but one of the things that we need to do is look for out-of-date wording in the website about IETF. I would rather not go live with the new site with that old copy in there. So I know there's at least a few places that have that problem.
It's not in my list, but as you are just saying, that we have a few pages with this wording here and there. For example, to be honest, what we did is take the version of the new website what was deployed by a third party in 2022, take everything and make a refresh of the new landing page. In addition, I created a proposal to work with the docs. And what I suggest is, let me share what is the issue for the docs stuff, because we have Akanksha contributing with the docs, and she's doing a great job. I saw Greg and yourself reviewing the last pull request of the examples, so I think that she's doing great. And probably what we can do is add in the current cycle of docs changes a task for reviewing all the IETF wording. Let me find this docs. This is going to be quicker from here. One sec. Roadmap.
Yeah, that sounds good. There's also another issue that I created recently about self-hosting versions of the draft, or the old draft versions, that I assume is probably not on your list, but that'd be nice to have before we go live as well.
Yeah, what I have in the list in a previous version of this, in fact, is in another project, in the project that we use it for the website development, that is this one. There is a task to migrate content, and what I did is I used a tool to compare that we don't have broken links. So whatever links we had in the current site should be available in the new website, but it's not the same a documentation page that our all the specs that the people is going to, all the schemas that the people is going to access. So before going live, we need to make sure that everything is working perfectly, because this is like a huge problem in that case. So what missing content probably is here. So this is basically, I checked all the content in the old site and I made sure that everything was working as expected.
Yeah, so the issue I'm talking about isn't like I know the links work. The issue is we need to point the links to somewhere else. We need to self-host them instead of pointing them at
Okay. This is new. We have, I mean, we are not doing that right now. So this is something that I think that, okay, but it's up to us decide if we are going to do it with the new website right after the release, or we can like create a plan to say, okay, let's release first and let's make a second step for the schemas. It's up to us. So for me, I prefer to make different steps to reduce the risk and have like a period of time with the new website and make sure that everything is working smoothly. But happy to do it. Also, we can make the change in the old website and replicate it in the new website. So this is a decision that we have to make.
Yep, and I've already started working on that change. So hopefully, like I wouldn't ask you to hold up whatever you're doing if I wasn't ready. if I didn't finish that, but I think it would be ideal if because we're gonna have a lot of eyes on the website once we release the new version. I think people are gonna want to go and see what's there, and if it's pointing to the wrong places, I'm concerned that that's a lot of eyes on the wrong, getting the wrong message. Although I guess it's not really probably all that common that people are going to be looking up old drafts anyways. So maybe it's not a big deal. I just bring it up so it's on the radar.
Yeah. I'm going to modify. This is I divided the different set of features for improvements for the docs in this plan. Actually, we are working in release 2, and probably this is what we will have for the release of the new website. I'm going to suggest add more changes here. For example, for the ETF wording, I think that this should be here. And if others in this session needs that, it is positive to launch the new website with the self-hosting schemas. We'll work on that. I think that is not a huge number of documents, right? Is 3 or 4 by spec, something like that, right? How many files will be? For
I'm sorry, for what?
each spec version will require 3 or 4 different files, right?
Yeah, it depends on how far you go back.
Yeah.
And originally it was 1, and then it was 2, and then it was 3, and then if you count the relative JSON pointer, it's as much as 4. And none of that's counting meta schemas.
Understood. My suggestion is, in this case, is so we can create an issue for someone that is curious about that, start collecting those files and make sure that we have the right files for all the spec versions. And we can, with that input, we can just connect those resources with the docs plan or with the website release plan, up to us. But we will adapt from the release deployment perspective. Okay, I'll go back to the topic before jumping to the next topic. What I think the people in the last meeting was reviewing is this board. This board is right. We only need to merge this branch 44, and here this is the rollout plan. In the rollout plan, we can add more checks like the ETF and the schemas hosting. So I'll send a message in the community asking for feedback here. But basically, what I like to do is launch the website the first week of September, because on August I don't think that is going to be the best month for launching, and probably we are not going to be ready. People is going to be on vacation, so we can have like a time on August to make sure that we have everything ready, and use the first week of September to launch everything. And the main task I'm adding here is check the content, check the setup in Cloudflare, check the setup in GitHub, and launch between September 5th and September 8th. This is it.
Sounds good.
Okay. Anyways, something that pops in your mind in the next days, weeks, just let me know, and we'll modify the code, the plan, and everything. But this is something that we should be speaking in the coming weeks and upcoming meetings. Any other comment before going to the next topic of the agenda? Okay, then we have those two topics still in the agenda. One by Ben for providing updates on the roadmap, and the first discussion about the backlog for the stable release. My suggestion is go first with this issue and have the remaining time of the meeting to have the scope of release discussion and the backlog setup, if that's okay for everyone.
Yeah, sounds fine.
Okay, all yours, Ben.
Thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to make time during the calls to regularly give space for people to provide updates on what they've been doing related to the roadmap. So if you have been doing anything related to the roadmap over the last week, please give us a very quick, brief update on what you've been doing, and we can keep people apprised.
Yeah, so there's been some discussion recently. I think this last week has just been discussion about URLs between me and Greg, and that is going nowhere at the moment. Yeah, I think that's the update from this week.
It should be said that Jason and I are largely aligned. There is a misalignment, a small misalignment that we're trying to resolve. But it really, the topic at hand really does depend on this. So we've moved back into DMs to try to figure this out.
Yeah, the next issue I want to tackle is that of what do we do with, or what's our approach to evolution? Like, we don't have to decide all of the details, but I think we need to decide some aspects of it, like do we have our things going to be in the spec or external to the spec? Stuff like that. Like, are we going to have a concept of it experimental in the spec or not? Those kinds of general ideas of what direction we're going. Not necessarily all the details, but I want to get that some of that hammered down enough that it won't blow away in the breeze.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, thank you for moving things forward. Honestly, Ben, how you've been working on the website, which we just asked.
Yeah, I'm working in 3 different issues of the roadmap. First one, the website, as I said before. I'm depending on the contributors on different people, so it's just like making sure that we are progressing and have a timeline for the release. And this is the plan that I said before, so I feel optimistic about that. The second issue is not a very high priority, it's just high priority, is the documentation. We have been lucky of getting Akanksha very interested about contributing to our docs, and she's great, and she's moving the whole issue with the docs strategy. She's going step by step, sending pull requests for everything. So I'm working really well with her. We are having open discussions with different videos with feedback in the documentation channel, and hopefully we will get more contributors in the upcoming weeks, months, let's see. And this is going to be, after the release, is going to be like the ongoing work. But the same thing, I'm just supporting her. I'm not working with the docs for the moment. And the issue that I'm focused at right now is the implementers strategy. In the past 2 weeks, I have been reviewing the implementations page, repo by repo, and tagging the owners or contributors of those repos in Orbit. That is the tool that we are using for developer relations and user engagement in our community. So the purpose, this is the first task of the implementers strategy, because basically now we are ready to connect with them wherever they are. So I have 2 different lists. The list of implementers that have something published in the implementers page, and also all the members of the implementers channels in Slack are also tagged in Orbit. So we have like 2 different levels of people that is implementing, the ones that are like first class or purely JSON schema tooling, and also other implementers that they have like JSON schema features in other kind of tooling. It can be OpenAPI or different use cases. So we have all that people. We have like in total maybe 300 more or less. And the next step for me is design the survey. So I did some research with 3 or 4 different surveys for maintainers and things similar to what we are going to ask those implementers. And this week, my priority is prepare a draft survey and get feedback by some of the most active implementers, and of course all of you, because all of you are implementers. So I love to get your feedback as soon as I have a first version of the survey. So I'm working on that as like a top priority. Ben, go ahead.
On the survey, I may have mentioned before, but I think we definitely need to add some incentive, even to get implementers, which should hopefully already be invested a little, but just to nudge it up their priority list. Even if it's like $100 or even $1,000 sweepstake that someone can win. I think we should be putting money into this, because this is it's an ongoing effort that we're going to be engaging with these individuals. So how we go about that is obviously up for debate, and maybe we get the OpenJS to facilitate that, as opposed to using our open collectives. So unless anybody has any particular objections to that, I'll reach out to the OpenJS Foundation and see if they want to spot that fund, or have any suggestions as to how that could work.
Sounds great to me. Yeah.
Okay, I'll reach out to them and report back.
To continue talking about OpenJS Foundation, I reached out to them to see if they have resources for preparing better surveys. It can be tooling, or maybe people expert in surveys. So they said yes, but nothing else. So I don't know who are those experts and what are those resources. But as my desire is have the survey in a document, and as soon as we have the survey approved in the document and access to all resources, put everything together to launch it. But I'm not forgetting about what Greg said some weeks ago about having a proactive plan of engagement with implementers. So survey is just one thing, but we have another task to prepare a proactive plan for engage with implementers. It's not going to be just a survey. We are working on that. Any other comment regarding roadmap updates before going to the next topic? Let's move then. Let's see if we have enough time to make a good progress. We only have this topic pending. Discuss the initial backlog of the stable release. I'm sharing my screen and I'm going to share the last we discussed here. Basically, Jason, Greg, and myself, we discussed about how better coordinate for progressing this discussion with to progress the stable release scope and so on. First point was creating a milestone called stable release. This is already done, and create a project board for visualizing all the issues and the progress. This is the milestone. The milestone is empty for the moment. But as soon as we start adding issues, it will be available here. And the same thing for the board. This is a basic board with the basic to-do in progress done. But as soon as we start working, we can start using labels, different columns, etc. But it's as I said, it's a starting point. And we are going to have 1 week cycle, as Jason suggests. If this is not enough, we can decide to use 2 weeks or 3 weeks, whatever. And basically, the outcome of today's discussion is to decide what is going to be what are going to be the issues for the first cycle of discussion. We have in the same issue everything that Jason and Greg suggested as content for the release. And basically, as I just said, for today, we need to discuss from where to start. Something in your mind?
That I created recently based on decisions that we've made in the last few weeks. I think that would be a good place to start. I'll drop them in the chat right now.
Okay, I just added that issue to the milestone and to the board in to do. Are we okay in?
Probably one more want to add is the converting the spec to Markdown, which I think we've decided that we're going to do, and we have a path forward. So we find that issue as well, and we can add that.
It's 13:35. Give me just a minute.
Thanks, Greg.
25. Can someone paste the? Okay, is this
He
one?
put it
Thank
in
you,
the
Greg.
chat. Yeah,
Thank you.
1335.
Are those two okay? 14, 21, 21 and 14, 20? Because,
Yes.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
Let me show the board then. So we can start having the discussion here.
Jason, do we want to go ahead and add the dialect URI, or not the dialect, yeah, that dialect URI's conversation as well?
We could. What I was thinking was that discussions would be just discussions, and then once we have a decision, then they would become an issue, and that's when they would go on the board. If everybody agrees with that.
It's fine with me.
Yeah. Okay. So we have 3 issues, but I don't know if this is too much for one single week. Probably, if we like to stick to the 1 week cycle. What do you think, Tim, about this?
I agree that it's too much for 1 week. Probably won't get all of this done, but it is a backlog, and I don't know that we need to. I don't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should build our backlog, but then also, if you want to schedule what we plan to do for this, for each week, that's fine. I'm happy just taking each item as it comes. As we complete one item, we can move to the next one, or work on 2 or 3 things at a time.
Yeah, I was thinking more Kanban inspired model rather than Scrum. So this isn't something that we expect to be done in a week. It's just our work in progress, our current work in progress.
Yeah,
and we get done when we get it done.
Yeah, sounds good to me. I prefer Kanban too, because it's going to give us flexibility and it's more adaptable. We can keep the 1 week cycle as orientation, more like something strict.
Yep.
So yeah. Okay, sounds great. We have this initial version of backlog with 3 issues. If we have to prioritize in one of the 3 of this list, what should be? Schema update require dialect to be declared and understood. A spec update specify how stable URIs work, or convert the spec to Markdown. Or maybe 2, if we are going to have different people working in different issues, maybe we can take 2. So what are your thoughts about this? Maybe just one joint effort?
Yeah, so in some ways, the converting the spec to Markdown is a requirement. It's like a prerequisite to get the other ones done. So that's, I think, the highest priority. Technically, we can always work on the wording and have that ready for when the Markdown file is ready. So it's not really a blocker, but those other 2 can't get merged until we have a Markdown spec.
I was sorting the issues as you were speaking. Is this order correct? So top priority, the stable URI work, how a stable URI works. Second priority, require dialect, and the third priority, convert the spec to Markdown. Is that right?
No, I'd put convert spec to Markdown at the top.
Okay.
And other than that, I think the other 2 have probably the same priority. So either order is fine.
Thank you. So we have backlog prioritized, and the last thing we have to do is decide, okay, if this is the priority, are we going to put the convert spec to markdown in progress, because probably it's already in progress, right?
It is already in progress. I've done a proof of concept.
Is it okay for you, Jason, if I assign you here for visibility?
Yep.
Okay, so let's start from here, if that's okay. We can check in the next week how fast or how we feel about this week of working, and we can adjust in the process. That's okay. Any other comment for this first backlog discussion? Or any other comment about anything? JSON related, JSON schema related, not JSON related.
I wonder if at some point we should have a link somewhere in the new website to our project, our little project board, so we can see, so people can see what we're working on.
Yeah, definitely. I think we'll definitely have a roadmap and vision page, and maybe add some links to that on the homepage, but definitely after release.
Even iframe it in.
Yeah, the good thing is in the new documents taxonomy, for call it like in a cool way, we have a menu that is going to be very easy to be navigable, and we have different sections when we can easily put information like the roadmap. So we let me quickly share this, because I'm like proud about that, and you can tell me if it's bullshit or not. 1 second. This is the previous version of the landing. Let me show the current version. Okay, here in overview, we can easily add a new link for the roadmap, for example, and many other things. And in fact, this is already planned in the docs strategy. But what we can do is change the release, attach it to that feature. For example, here, we are suggesting to add the roadmap in release 3. That is the next. So we are working in release 2. We are thinking in 3. But when I wrote this, was before the on-site in Vancouver. So we have the roadmap. We can easily put it here, and as Greg said, with a embedded approach or something to make it look cool in the website. And the same thing for the spec. So we have this specification menu here that can easily create like a link for current, or get involved for current status or something like that, that we can show what is the scope of the stable release, and maybe it can help to get people like direct feedback or get interested or excited about some features, or just complain about something. I don't know, but yes, with this approach, I hope that we are going to, it's going to be easy for us to add those links. Yeah, that was the thing. So anything that pops to your mind, Tim, regarding things that we haven't shared before, with the new website, we will be in a good spot for very quickly share cool stuff.
Super, thanks for sharing that.
Any other comment? Great. So let's, in my case, I'm going to sleep, probably the same for you, Ben. And for the rest, I hope that you are going to have a great day. And Jason, good luck with your appointment with the doctor. Hopefully, it's not going to be a big injury. So yeah, we'll think about you tomorrow.
Thanks.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.